What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we for AEW on TNT review for March 24th, 2021. This was the TNT Championship Open Challenge to a member of the Dark Order night, where Silva, Johnny Hungee, took on Darby ALLIN for the TNT Championship. Plus, we had a trios match. Laredo Kidd makes his return after almost 3 years to take on, with the Lucha Bros, to take on Brandon Cutler and the Young Bucks. And because Kenny Omega opened his big mouth 2 weeks ago on Elevation, he had to face Matt Sydal. If Matt Sydal won, he gets a world title match. And so much more. Let's get into this. So, that's what we started with. We didn't get no boring bullshit segment to start the show. We got Matt Sydal versus Kenny Omega. And these two went out there and gave you a fucking phenomenal match. This was great. Matt Sydal, of course, did not win. He wasn't going to win. The only way that Matt Sydal wins this match and get a title match is if somebody gets involved, some kind of shenanigans happens, but that did not happen. So Kenny Omega won with a one-winged angel. So many times Matt Sydal tried to get out of it, and things just didn't work out for him. Matt Sydal did come very close. He got him in the one-winged angel. Kenny Omega did. Sydal rolls it up, gets out of it, puts him in a roll-up. 1, 2. And before the referee's hand smacked the mat, Kenny Omega kicked out. Kenny's up, nails a V trigger, puts him in the one-winged angel. Finally, 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega beats Matt Sydal. This was, again, a really, really good match. Great way to start the show, and nothing else to say. Then we go backstage to Alex Marvez, who's with John Silva, with the Dark Order, and ask him, and of course off to the side is Hangman Adam Page, who is preparing himself for his match against Cesar Bononi, which will happen after this segment. He asks them if you're ready for tonight's match, and he says he's ready to get out and boots Marvez to show them what he's going to do to be able to avoid the coffin drop. The guys are all falling for the coffin drop, basically trust falls, which Silva dodges. Then Poor Five is becoming the punching bag of the Dark Order because the trust fall happens and everyone gets caught. Then 5 does the trust fall and everybody moves, so he just falls into the couch. Hangman comes through and is like, dude, you nervous? He's like, no, I'm not nervous. You can tell that's a lie. He says, these guys will respect you either way. Good luck out there. So he heads off, and of course Silva says, you're the man, Hangman! Then we go to Hangman Adam Page versus Cesar Bononi. This was nothing special. It was just pretty much a squash match. Bononi got a couple hits in, but in the end, we got ourselves a buckshot lariat for the 1, 2, 3. Nothing else you can say about that. Then we go to Lance Archer. He says without Sting, there would have been no Archer. He says he has the bat with him. He says everybody paid close attention to Sting back in the day. Archer says now people are going to pay close attention to him, or the walls are going to come crashing down around them. People will remember his name, and sooner or later it will be showtime. I feel bad for Lance Archer because this dude has been in AEW and out for about a year. It's been a little over a year. He came in right before the scandemic hit, and all that bullshit happened. He made his debut in front of actual fans, but this dude just they haven't, like, outside of the TNT Championship tournament and him winning the Battle Royal, his little mini feud with Eddie Kingston, his world title match with Jon Moxley, it just seems like majority of the time they don't know what to do with Lance Archer. He's just sitting around. It seems like since he's been here, majority of the time he's sitting in the back waiting for opportunity instead of going out there and taking it. It feels like there's something missing for Lance Archer that they're not doing. And then we come to Britt Baker, who of course lost last week against Thunder Rosa. And obviously what we're doing with this fake wrestler doing is She's going out there and she's being delusional as if she's the reason that AEW is successful. Don't ask me. Listen to her own fake-ass words.
I think she deserves a round of applause for one of the greatest matches that we have ever seen here on Dynamite.
She gets a lot of boos. She gets some cheers, but a lot of boos.
For almost 2 years. Dr. Baker.
That's it? That is the warm welcome you give me for the hell that I went through last week? You all are as dumb, delusional, and disrespectful as Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa, you should be thanking me every day.
No, Baker, you should be thanking Thunder Rosa for making your stupid ass look as good as she could and carried your ass through that entire match. So let's get that straight first and foremost, you little bitch.
That you wake up. You should be thanking me because you will forever be remembered now.
For carrying your ass in one of the greatest carry jobs I have ever seen in a professional wrestling ring. Britt Baker was carried from the bell to the end of that match. And Thunder Rosa should be applauded and cheered for how damn good of a job she did.
You got to be a part of the history that I wrote with my own blood. And then you had the audacity to stand here in my company, in my division, and say that you put the women on the map. Then why is everybody talking about me?
Because the delusional dumbasses who stands for WWE and want to have, hey look, that's Adam Cole's girlfriend. She works for AEW. I'm going to sit there and talk about her. The real fans know who was the star of that match, and it sure as the hell was not you.
And I don't need the praise and adoration of all you legends and experts telling me that I'm worthy now, that I'm a star now.
You are not, nor will you ever be a star with how far they are shoving you down people's throats. You need a lot, and I mean a lot of work before you even come close to scratching stardom.
Mick Foley, thanks for the thumbs up.
With how many chair shots Mick Foley has taken in his career, and how much he has his mind has deteriorated over the years, and you could see it anytime he's in a WWE setting, you can just see how far his mind has gone. Nobody should take Mick Foley's word for anything anymore.
Except it took you 20 years to become a hardcore legend, and I did it in one night.
You are not, nor will you ever be, a hardcore legend.
And that night, when I had 87 thumbtacks in my back and the blood was flowing down into my eyes, I've never been able to see more clearly. Because Tony Khan, you're out here looking for every legend that ever has been when you have the biggest one right here standing under your nose.
Please.
Because not only did I make history that night, I put AEW on the map.
Listen, you little bitch. I know it's her character and she's supposed to be this delusional piece of shit who thinks that she is all this in a bag of chips, which she's not, nor will she ever be. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody, Hangman Adam Page, Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, say hi, Britt Baker, because those men, Shida and Riho, those women, put this company on the map while you were just pretending like you were the face of the company, because you will never be the face of the company.
And those three letters, AEW, come second to the most epic three in all of professional wrestling. DMD.
Dumb motherfucking dits. There you go. Please. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make her be this, like, oh, well, she's, like I said, she's all that in a bag of chips. She thinks so highly of herself. But that, like, it's fucking mind-boggling. She is dating one of the best men on the fucking mic, week in and week out. Somebody can go out there and just sell you anything because he's that fucking good. And she comes out here with this piss poor fucking promo. My God. You were dating Adam Cole and you can't even measure up to half of what he can do on the mic. I figured they would probably, have some promo practice. He'd give us some tweaks and some pointers. If he is, he's doing a piss poor job at it because she fucking sucks. 6 ways to Sunday, she sucks. Anyway, we move on and we go backstage and we hear from Christian, who runs into an old friend of his from Impact Wrestling, a.k.a. Frankie Kazarian.
Hey, Frankie, I'm kidding. I'm so happy for you, man. You look great. Good to see you. Love the shirt. Love the catchphrase. I kind of live by that catchphrase, too, and I've been doing that since day one here. I'm an AEW original. You guys know that. First ever tag team champion. I've beat the best this company's thrown in front of me, and just wondering, when does the work part begin? Let me ask you a question, Frankie. What's up? You're not turning into cranky Frankie over here, are you? Look, are you trying to convince yourself? You're trying to convince me? You don't have to convince me of anything. Yeah? I've been in the ring with you many times. I know how good you are, Frankie. Okay, good. But you want to know when the work starts? I'd love to know that. Okay. It starts next week. Next week? Yeah. And as of right now, I don't have an opponent, so if you're free, you can step up if you want. You're on. It's gonna be great to be in the ring with you again, man. Really is. Sure will. Okay? All right. Hey, you busy on Monday nights? No, you're not busy on Monday nights. Anyways, I have a match on Dark Elevation Monday night. You might want to come check it out, because 7 years, it's a long time to be out of the ring.
So, Christian Cage versus Frankie Kazarian. Okay, that's fine if that's what they want to start with, Christian. Which, I'm fine with that. I mean, it's been a while since these two been in the ring. It's back in TNA, back in 2005-06 time. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. Good to see them actually finally say, hey, this is when Christian's going to have his first match. Because we all been wondering, it's been a couple weeks now, when is Christian going to get in the ring? Well, we have our answer, and it will be next week against Frankie Kazarian. Now, we could have seen Christian, go out there and face a JD Drake or some guy from Dark or Dark Elevation who is just out there to eat a pinfall and move on. Now, I don't expect Christian to lose next week. It is his debut match in AEW. But to have it be against Frankie Kazarian and his first official singles match in 7 years, okay. I'm surprised they didn't want to take it in, bring him in slow. But no, okay. First, he belongs to Dante Martin versus FTR on Spears of the Pinnacle. This was, this match was okay. Wasn't very long. I mean, the Dante Martin got to go out there and show you what he can do and how, when his brother Darius gets back and these guys are fighting their way and climbing up to the top of the rankings, that those two are going to be fantastic for years to come. They just need to remove the Black Lives Matter shit from their gear, and then we'll get serious with them. But everyone got to have a little bit of time. The Pinnacle ends up winning, of course, but Shawn Spears hits the C4 for the win after a brainbuster from Harwood. But it's after the match that we had ourselves a lovely promo. Now the question is, when is the Inner Circle coming back? When are we going to see them again? Will it be at the next set of tapings? Will it be next week, which is taped tomorrow? I don't think we'll see them next week. I don't think the Inner Circle was even at the show. I don't know why you want the Inner Circle at the show. Just giving people speculation. I'd say we see them in April, which is the next tape. The next live show is actually in April. This was the last live show in March. Crazy to think that we have one more Wednesday to go in March, and it's April time with the next live taping. And here's another thing before we get into this promo. April 9th, 2 days after the next live show, AEW will be hosting their first non-televised house show in Jacksonville, which AEW needs this. People like a Dr. Britt Baker and other talent who they want to get over, want to get hone their craft, and be future stars of this company. They need time in the ring, and once a week is not gonna cut it. Hopefully, you'll have, like, say, the 9th is the first one, and maybe it's successful. Then they go, well, we're going to be here the 16th and the 17th for 2 extra shows. Or the 23rd and the 24th, because they'll be taping for the 14th. Say the 23rd and the 24th, they were successful. They're going to be back and say, we'll be here for this day. So that'd be great. Get time, and having this time is going to be good for people, for the lower tiers, for the green wrestlers, like a Britt Baker, like a... like Darius and Dante Martin, if they're both able to be there. Also, they could have, like, you know, they taped 20-some matches before Dark and Dark Elevation. Those matches will now just be what they have for this non-televised show. Great. This was actually planned for them to do before all the scamdemic stuff hit last year. If we didn't have COVID, if COVID never existed, didn't come in, they would be talking about people going to house shows on the weekend matinees. That was the plan. Saturday and Sunday. Not every week, but maybe like every other week they would have did something like that. But unfortunately, things happen. So hopefully the 9th they get like a full all tickets sold out, so they can continue to do it. Because the more time the young stars get to wrestle, and the young stars who they want to, like a Jungle Boy, like an MJF, like a Britt Baker, like a Nyla Rose, like a Tay Conti, like anybody who's not been 10, 15 years in this business and are seasoned veterans, this is going to be great for like the top flights. If Darius Martin is back, guys, it's going to be, this will benefit AEW in the long run. So here's the Pinnacle's promo after they beat the Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin.
The Pinnacle is not just a name. The Pinnacle is not just a group. The Pinnacle is family. Okay? I don't have a family. I don't have a wife and kid waiting for me at home, but I have these men right here, and I will live for these men, and I will die for every single one of them. Hold this. Santana and Ortiz, look, man, you've done well for yourself. Both of you guys have done well for yourself. And you got a lot of guys here in AEW fooled. Let me tell you something. You got a group of guys here that ain't fooled. Okay? We know there ain't a grain of salt in your body. Inner Circle, listen, this ain't an SNL skit. This ain't a stand-up comedy show. It's not a rom-com. The marquee says professional wrestling. The marquee says professional wrestling. And if you want to find where you stand in the world of professional wrestling, you come to AEW and you ask for my family. You ask for the Pinnacle. You know what, Chris? Chris Jericho, I'm a little confused. I figured by now you'd try to come out here and break the walls down. But I guess the only thing you're breaking nowadays is whatever chair you decide to sit on. Oh, you don't like that, Chris, huh? That make you upset? How about you do me a favor? How about you grab all your boys and come out here right now? Oh, wait, silly me, Tony, that's right. You're not going to come out here because you are terrified of us.
Oh, hold on. You decimated them a couple of weeks ago. They are hurt. You know well.
I'm sorry, Tony. Something you wanted to say?
No, never mind.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
You've given us the gift of silence is better than anything. But speaking of gifts, boys, next week, boy, do I have the gift of all time for every single one of you. And that gift is for all the future gold we're about to hold, because, ladies and gentlemen, when you're in the Pinnacle, you are always on top.
Great promo for FTR/MJF. Just everything they're doing with the Pinnacle right now is great. But we all know where this is probably going. blood and guts. The AEW so wanted to do that last year. And even if they did it last year and say we still have this whole thing with the Pinnacle and Inner Circle feud starting now, that would be the second iteration of Blood and Guts, but it will be the first. Will that happen at... You know what I know what they should do? That if they want to do Blood and Guts right, have Double or Nothing in the football stadium. Have Double or Nothing at the football stadium. You can sell more tickets, you can have more people there, and you could have a big enough audience to justify having Blood and Guts, because you know they want to have a packed house. They were supposed to have a packed house when they were going to do Blood and Guts the first time, and it just didn't happen. I think they could do TIA Bank Arena field, TIA Bank Field, not arena, and have ourselves a Blood and Guts match as the main event, and do a stadium show. I think AEW is big enough, and they can get enough people there. So instead of only having 1,000 fans at Double or Nothing, they can have 15,000, 20,000 fans. Have Blood and Guts, and give us one hell of a time. So we go backstage. They do not have this one, but we hear from Team Taz, and Taz is like, I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, but that there's something wrong with the group. But there's not. Gonna put that to bed right now. Brian Cage actually came to us and apologized for praising Sting. He even went to Ricky Starks himself and apologized to him personally. And you could just tell that this is bullshit. Everything coming out of Taz's mouth in this promo right here, you can tell is bullshit, because you have Brian Cage sitting off to the side, you can see this look of him going, I didn't say any of this shit. What the hell is Taz saying? Because I know for a fact, I did not say this shit. I did not apologize to these guys, because I shouldn't need to apologize to these guys. And obviously, if you watched AEW Dark last night, what's going on with these guys? Well, during Brian Cage's match against Brandon Cutler, Taz and Ricky Starks were on commentary. Of course, Taz is always on commentary. And yeah, things didn't go the way you had Ricky Starks. I mean, yeah, he won his match against Brandon Cutler, but the entire time, when Brandon Cutler was getting the offense, Ricky Starks was like, this is Brian Cage's fault. They were talking so much shit on Brian Cage. You know clearly that Brian Cage is going to be the one to lead Team Taz. What happens with the FTW Championship, I don't have a clue. But yeah, Brian Cage is not long for Team Taz. And I don't know what he's like in a babyface role that much. We'll see. Then we had QT Marshall with Tony Schiavone. And pretty much just like, look, I'm frustrated. I'm absolutely frustrated. I'm in this spot, and I'm probably getting this TV time because I'm Cody's friend. He doesn't want to be in that shadow. He shows his wife. He points to his wife. We see his wife who is smiling. He's not happy with the fact that when this show's over, Cody's going to go back home, go back to the hotel, lay with his wife, and while my wife sleeps alone. I want an exhibition match with Cody next week. He can't make Cody come out, but he can only control what he can do, and this is what he wants. Cody does come out with a sling, mind you. His shoulder has been hurt. It was legitimately hurt a couple weeks ago. And he says, you know what? We'll have this exhibition, but I'm not going to hurt you. If I put in figure 4, I'll relent. If I get the crossroads cinched in, I'll let it go. And of course, Arn Anderson's going to be the referee. That was Cody's suggestion. And we know where this is going. So, talk about it is that Cody has been studying the feud of Bruno Sammartino and Larry Zbyszko. When Larry Zbyszko absolutely turned on Bruno and beat the living fuck out of him, leaving him laying. And that's what we're going with here. So, everyone should know that this is where this is going is Cody's gonna outwork him. He's gonna outperform him. That's gonna piss It's gonna piss QT Marshall off. QT Marshall's gonna beat the fuck out of him. He's going to attack the shoulder, send him packing for a while, and Cody. And we're going to have this feud. It's probably going to lead to a match at Double or Nothing, maybe. I don't know. We're still 2 months away from that. But it's going to lead to a match between Cody and Dustin. Not Cody and Dustin, but QT and Dustin. Because Cody's going to be... It's going to be Dustin fighting for Cody's honor. Because QT went too far. He crossed the line and took out Cody Rhodes. And, of course... QT's been trying to get out of Cody's shadow. Feels like it's never going to happen until he takes him out himself. And that is what we're going from here. It should be interesting to see what happens. I want to see how far QT can go as himself. Because he has been, in my opinion, I feel like QT Marshall has been coddled by the Nightmare family for his entire time in AEW. It just feels like the guy is... He needs to get on his own. So this will be interesting to see what they do for QT Marshall and Cody, and where the feud's going to go, because that's exactly where it's going. It's going there, and I have no problems with it at all. We'll see what happens next week. Then we go to match of the night, in my opinion. I do not care what anyone says. This was match of the night. The Lucha Bros and Laredo Kidd versus Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler. Now, if you're harking yourself back to the first Fyter Fest 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, it wasn't around this time. No, it was like June or July. You had the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, the Elite, taking on the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kidd. Well, Pac's injured. Pac has, I think, a knee injury, a leg injury, or some kind of injury. So they needed a replacement. Who better than these guys' pal, the Laredo Kidd? And that's what we got here. I could not do this match justice when it comes to trying to commentate on it, because these 6 guys went out there. Now, I will say we had the youngest brothers of each tag team. Then we had the oldest go face to face, and then we had the odd men out with Laredo Kidd and Brandon Cutler. So each set of guys got in there to go one-on-one with the opposite that matches to them. So you got all 6 guys getting some time in this match. And then it just, after Cutler and Laredo Kidd went there for a bit, it just went completely crazy. Now, Laredo Kidd hit a beautiful springboard moonsault. He folded himself in and stretched himself out to get into a big moonsault. That was crazy. Now, Penta breaks up a you had the risky business. Cutler tagged in, hits a springboard elbow. Penta breaks it up. He's thrown out of the ring and eats a kick from Nick. Then they do a splash to Penta, who is being held on the outside. Then Phoenix, flipping all over the place, but ends up getting hit with an assisted indie taker, with Brandon Cutler helping push Nick step up to flip off the floor. The Penta, Matt nails a huge DDT on the apron. Kidd then nails a Spanish fly onto Cutler for the pin and the win, and the Lucha Trio wins the match. But after the match, Kenny Omega jumps in, nails Laredo Kidd with the microphone, hits him a few times with the title. He gets on the mic and says he's getting flashbacks to 2019 at Fyter Fest when they all had a choice. He said 3 years ago we had a choice. He had a choice. He could have stayed at home with people who loved him. Did he stay with people who... No. Did he go to greener pastures in New York? No. He says he didn't pick AEW. He picked you guys. I picked you guys, the Bucks. They were here to make the best wrestling promotion on the planet. He says he's picked them, and they picked Brandon Cutler over me. I picked you guys, but you never picked me. Omega says he knows Callis can be a bit much sometimes, and he doesn't always agree with him. But I'll give you this one more chance. Throw it up, the Too Sweet. The brothers decide to leave the ring. Omega tells Cutler to go and be the cameraman because we're done. After berating them for a bit, he turns around into a double super kick from the Lucha Bros, and then a stomp package power driver. They all three leave him laying, and Omega is bleeding from the mouth. Then, conveniently, not being there this entire time, I don't know why, the Good Brothers come in to pick up their man. So, yeah, that's just showing you that things don't look right in the world for Kenny Omega. His buds left him, his other buds lost the tag team titles, which I don't know what's going on with them in Impact Wrestling. Not my business. But, yeah, things are not looking good for Kenny Omega's little group. I mean, yeah, we did have for a while there, it looked like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and the Good Brothers were all going to be back one together, but that didn't happen for very long. So, then we see Eddie Kingston's ankle got crushed last week, and then we get a great promo from them. I don't have it this time, but it was a hell of a promo. Pretty much just saying that Moxley's like, I don't know the Young Bucks, I don't like the Young Bucks, but I owe them, and I don't really like owing people something. So, Bucks, I hope you're ready to get your hands dirty, because he guesses he owes them, and we'll see what happens with that. I thought we were going to get a 6-man tag team match with the Young Bucks and Moxley versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, because he owed them, but we'll get to what that match is for later on. Nyla Rose takes on Tay Conti. This one went about 5 minutes, maybe. Tay Conti wins with the most devastating looking hammerlock DDT I have ever seen. She literally spiked. She put the hammerlock on and just hooked up and just cocked it and shot back so hard, I think she knocked Nyla out for a second. But Tay Conti picks up the win. She's celebrating on the top rope when Vicky Guerrero grabs her foot so Nyla Rose can attack her. She beats her up some. Here comes Shida to hit her with a kendo stick. She fights with Nyla Rose for a bit. Then out comes the Bunny for some fucking reason, but we'll find out that in a second. She hits Shida with the kendo stick. Those two lead the other two women laying. And that is that. Of course, Matt Hardy says the women's eliminated tournament was awful because the Bunny wasn't in it. His clients deserve better. And his clients have been overlooked for far too long, and that ends now. So, Tay Conti getting a big win against Nyla Rose in, like I said, the best version of the Hammerlock DDT, whatever you want to call it, I've seen in a while. Hype package for Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor versus Miro and Kip Sabian next week, which is going to be called Arcade Anarchy. So, yeah. I don't know what's going to entail with that match, but we'll find out next week. Also, Christian Cage takes on Frankie Kazarian. Cody versus QT Marshall exhibition on Anderson as referee. We got the Arcade Anarchy. Hikaru Shida and Tay Conti takes on the Bunny and Nyla Rose. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers will take on Lucha Bros and Laredo Kidd, which, of course, they're taping it tomorrow, so, of course, Laredo Kidd will be in town. Scorpio Sky then gives us we get a video package of him saying he's getting screwed over and over in AEW, and he's tired of being called underrated. He's facing he's the face of Revolution, and on Monday he will face Mike Sydal, which I think is Mike's first singles match. And I'm thinking, you're saying you got screwed over even though you lost clean in the TNT Championship match. You got a chance, you lost it, move on. So, we go to the main event, John Silva versus Darby Allin with the Dark Order for the AEW TNT Championship. I like the match. I don't like the finish. There's a running theme with big hype matches for Darby Allin. I know he's got to play the underdog, the guy who probably shouldn't be champion, the guy that everyone is starting to love. But, John Silva dominated 98% of this match. He was literally throwing Darby Allin from one side of the ring to the other. You usually see somebody like a Braun Strowman size do that, but this is John fucking Silva who is taking a guy like Darby Allin and just picking him up and throwing him halfway, all the way across. And he made it from one side to the other. So we go to commercial break. We come back, and John Silva charges Darby Allin, and Darby Allin moves, so he falls over the barricade. Looked like he hit his head. Now, there was a spot earlier in the match where Darby Allin got kicked to the outside, and he looked like he smacked his head on the back of the padding. Good thing there's padding there. If that padding wasn't there, I think Darby Allin would have been knocked out right then and there. So then let's talk about the finish. Now, Sting comes out towards the end of the match because he said on social media he will be there to make sure that this is a fair match. Even though the Dark Order isn't going to do anything, you never know what Team Taz or anybody else is going to do. They did show Matt Hardy and Private Party being out there, so you knew, just the fact that they focused on them, you knew something was going to go down between these guys. Thankfully, it wasn't for the match, but Darby Allin gets a couple licks in. He does start working on John Silva's arm, which got hurt during that spot where he flipped over. He's definitely holding his arm. Talk about that here in a second because I do have some breaking news on John Silva that was talked about after the show went off the air. Now, Allin lifts up and drops him. Allin goes up top and there's a coffin drop on the Dark Order on the outside, which made no fucking sense. The Dark Order wasn't going to do anything. You had John Silva down. All you had to do was turn around, coffin drop him 1, 2, 3, and that would have been the end of the match. But no, he coffin drops. And by the way, we're about 60 seconds, maybe 90 seconds away from this show being over. So this match needed to, hurry up. But he coffin drops outside, gets back in, goes back in, takes a kick to the head. Silva climbs up, nails an F5, a spinning F5. Slow to cover. Allin gets his foot on the rope because John Silva folded him up, but he was too close to the rope, so he folded and fell into the ropes. Silva goes for the power bomb, and then Allin hits him with a code red for the 1, 2, 3. What? One of the biggest themes is that Darby Allin is winning in my opinion, I think he's winning too many matches by the skin of his teeth. You're supposed to be the TNT champion, and you continue to win matches only by the skin of your teeth. I'm getting a little tired of it. I mean, it works when he was fighting against Cody, trying to beat him and just never seemed to get the job done. Then he won the AEW the TNT Championship. When it's just kind of getting old. It's literally getting old that you're having Darby Allin win all of his matches by the skin of his teeth every time. There's no fucking way on God's green earth or on any green earth that Darby Allin should have won this match in the way that it went. John Silva dominated the entire match, only for him to again win by the skin of his teeth. Yes, he's supposed to be this baby face that wins matches by the skin of his teeth, but it shouldn't be like this all the time, especially for the TNT Championship. Give that title some prestige. Having him continue to win every single title match. He's defended it 4 times now. And I believe every time he's defended it, he's won by the skin of his teeth. And it's just got to end. Now, after the match, Matt Hardy and his boys start attacking. Private Party, Dark Order come over. Dark Order, Darby Allin, and Sting beat the hell out of them. Tay Conti, who was attacked earlier, comes back out, starts attacking. And it's a big smudge brawl. Now, after the show, we had Sting and Darby Allin talk about everything that just happened.
You gotta admit, Darby is dangerous. Great opponent, risk-taking as usual. This is as good as it gets. AEW is the place to be. AEW on TNT. With the TNT champ.
John, take down a second, John. I don't think anybody here knows. I'm pretty sure you dislocated your shoulder halfway through that match. But goddamn, did you put everything into it? And I'm talking to you anytime again. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you.
So yeah, I think I know the spot that actually is where he got hit It's like when he did the dive over, like he got hit, like he tried to attack him, and he fell over the fence, is when he probably hurt himself, because he's down there and he looks like he's just knocked out, and then he starts like fidgeting with his elbow and his shoulder, and it's like, yeah, that's not a good thing. But yeah, that is going to be interesting to see where they go from there. Again, I don't like the way that the match ended. I think it's happening with Darby Allin a lot, and I understand that if you want him to be somebody that, is supposed to be in that, don't have him be champion if you want him to be the underdog again and again and again and again, who doesn't, he gets dominated in the match, he gets dominated left and right, and then he wins by the skin of his teeth. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry. But yeah, AEW, it was a good show. I will say that. I cannot say anything else. It was a really good show. Yeah, really good show. Next week looks like it's going to be another good show. But again, we're just building to, and we'll see what happens with the Pinnacle. I don't know. Like I said, I think we'll see Jericho and crew come back at the next live show. You're not gonna do a retaliation on a taped episode. That, especially when you have the Reddit user who goes out there and spoils pretty much everything. Yeah, we'll go with that. So, yeah, AEW, good show. A lot of hits, couple misses, but yeah, overall, not a bad show at all. Check it out, and hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on the Minds at the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/thefrance Club. Find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I will see you guys Friday for SmackDown, as we inch closer and closer to WrestleMania. Until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys later.